Welcome to Hats Off to Aging. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson, and I'm pleased to have with me again Larry Mathieson, CEO of Unison, and Unison at the Veiner Centre.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Larry.
Glad to be here. Glad you had me.
It's a new year, and it's an exciting new year. 50 years.
50 years. We're very excited about 2025, and the biggest reason is our 50th anniversary for sure. But we also have some exciting developments coming on over the next couple of months for sure.
Can you share those?
Some I can share today. Some I can probably share in a month's time.
Sure.
But
we're looking at the January-February period. So
Yeah.
anything new?
I think the last time we were talking a lot about our travel trips and our day
Right.
trips that we do out of Veiner, and we have had such success, and I think like the staff team is great in the center and they've worked hard on this, but we actually have a team of volunteers who are specifically focusing on day trips and so on for seniors. And they actually have planned our first overnight trip. It's to Moose Jaw, and it was for April, but by Christmas it had already sold out.
Wow.
And so now we're kind of the group is looking at bigger and better things even. And so I think we have some developments that'll come over time. But we've also started to talk to some providers like Expedia and looking at things like a group, a group booking to Alaska or a book trip to Mayan Riviera or something like that. And again, those would be things that would not even have been on our radar a year ago. But now it's like, okay, we have a lot of older adults in Medicine Hat and in Calgary who like to go do things together. So,
well, a coach trip to Alaska. The nice thing about taking the bus,
yeah,
is that there's a lot less stress and worry for the passengers.
yeah, for sure.
And the Mayan Riviera,
Yeah.
that's probably something you'll do during the colder weather.
Yes, well.
The logistics, kudos to your volunteers. The logistics just to do an overnight trip to Moose Jaw,
Yeah.
I'm sure is, they've lost a few hours sleep once or twice.
Yeah, yeah.
And Moose Jaw seems to be a very popular spot.
It is popular here. We had a trip last year up to the Christmas market in Spruce Meadows. That was really popular. Actually, in Calgary, the team is actually doing an overnight trip down here. And so part of it will be members from Calgary getting to visit and experience the Veiner Centre, as well as a number of local attractions as well. So it is becoming a more and more popular thing that we do, certainly day trips, but it's also given us confidence that we have the volunteer groups that can support kind of bigger and better things.
You mentioned a couple of times last year that your membership had grown. Is it still growing?
It's still growing. Depending on when this airs, I'm not sure what Veiner will be like, but today Veiner Centre is about 1,700 members.
Wow.
Calgary is, for the decade before COVID, our membership in Calgary was around 3,000 members. And today it's over 4,300 members.
Wow.
And so combined, we have a membership of in the 6,000 members. And then we also probably serve close to that many, not quite that many, but I'd say at least 5,000 individuals who can't afford to buy a membership.
Right.
But they participate in some of our drop-in programs. They participate in things like our tax program. So more basic needs supports or emotional supports and those type of things. So the the number of people served by centers in both cities is growing.
Well, I wondered that because prior to the show, I checked your calendar for the Unison at the Veiner Centre.
Yeah.
It's a full calendar. I mean,
Yeah,
you offer
yeah.
everything from bingo to yoga.
Yeah, for sure, and it's growing all the time. The team's always working on, what's the next thing. We have an advisory committee, and part of what they do for us is they poll the members and
Right.
the users, and just kind of tap into what are the types of things that you would like to do. Now, I mean, we'll do things like cribbage and darts and stuff like that,
Right.
probably till the end of time. But pickleball is really popular. We'd heard, I think it was last year, we'd heard that cornhole was growing as fast as pickleball now, and so now we have cornhole like intro classes and drop in and stuff like that. So the group is constantly trying to look at what else would older adults and
Well, yeah, and I mean, you've got your Meals on Wheels program,
Yeah.
you've got your healthcare visit driver program.
yes.
I mean, you're doing the cafe, you're doing lunches, and apparently you're doing something very special for Valentine's Day.
We are so we're doing a Valentine's dinner. It's on the 12th. We're selling tickets as couples, and so we're looking forward to that because our themed dinners have been very, very popular, and they sell out really quickly. So Rick and the team at the bistro do a great job. So we're looking at it being a fun evening, but
Yep.
it probably quite a popular event as well.
You'll probably attract all ages.
I think so.
Anything else?
Well, we do our. You mentioned the transportation program, and that has been very exciting for us because we brought that in, and it was supported by Healthy Aging Alberta, and so essentially it supplements the funding and the offerings that are supported by the city. And that program is kind of growing in leaps and bounds, and it's very volunteer driven. Last month I looked at kind of some of the figures, and there's a high number of the trips go to medical appointments and clinic visits and so on, but some of them are kind of social isolation combatants kind of thing.
Right.
So like we actually bring people to the Veiner Centre with this program, but that program is growing, and I think our team is also looking at other supports for seniors either who are not currently using the Veiner Centre or may never have been there, and possibly supporting people out in the community outside of the buildings as
Yeah.
well.
Do you find your programs kind of start to circle each other after a while as they tie in?
Yeah, I think so. I think the transportation program was kind of one of our first kind of attempts to get out of the building, so to
Yeah.
speak. But we also knew that for some older adults who would never consider going to Veiner, it might be a good thing for them to have a way to get to the center. So again, reducing one of those barriers to, just something that's going to help people reduce their isolation or loneliness.
Yeah, well, the loss of a driver's license or a vehicle is certainly a very significant isolating issue for a lot of seniors.
For sure.
And they're a little leery. I mean, we have an excellent transit system,
Yeah.
but I think for a lot of them it's a new environment they'd rather not get into, where if somebody can come and get them and take them, they're more than happy. And I mean, your Meals on Wheels program, it's not just delivering a meal, it's a welfare check.
Yeah, we almost think of it in a way as a kind of a wellness monitoring.
Yeah.
Because we were talking before, and I kind of had mentioned it's not like a skip the dishes where somebody's dropping something and running, and our volunteers have they're checking in on people. It's like, are you okay? You know, we have kind of emergency contact information for most people, and you know, it's just that other check. You know, our people, and our volunteers don't see themselves as delivery people. They see people as doing, you know, their role is kind of doing that.
Yeah.
How are people doing?
Yeah, I had one of your volunteers on a different show late last year, and he said the same thing. Sometimes he has to cut the conversation short because the meals are cooling in his vehicle.
I mean, that's the truth of it. When we started running Meals on Wheels, I think we had 7 routes, and obviously food safety is a big issue for a program like that, and so you're delivering hot meals, and so you can only deliver so many meals, assuming the drivers are going to spend some time talking,
Right.
and so by 2023 we'd added a route, so we were up to 8 routes, and this year they're adding a 9th route, and it's kind of around that. Okay, we want our volunteers to get the food out in a reasonable time, but we also want them to have time to chat a little bit, and
otherwise you just call skip the dishes.
That's right. that's right. It's a whole different program. So yeah.
Are you seeing any changes in your operation in the near future?
I think so. Our team is kind of constantly looking for new partnerships that we can increase what we do collectively, but also new opportunities to build, like you say, programs that support each other and that create more combined efforts. So,
well, I wish you well.
Well, thank
and
you.
I will see you on the 14th of February.
We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Larry.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching.